Well, welcome in everybody. Welcome to today's stream where we'll be flying the Cessna Citation X. And we're here in Russia once again, Толмачёvo Airport in Russia. And we're going to be flying over to a place called Krasnoyarsk, I believe it is. Добро пожаловать на my YouTube canal, of course. Very glad to meet you all. This flight schedule today is 1 hour 30 minutes, looking like average weather. And hopefully no turbulence or thunder. Thank you so much as well for the support. I commented on the last video I did in the Citation X, because it wasn't getting any views for some reason. And then for some reason after I commented, and somebody else kindly commented, so thank you for that. And also commented on a few other videos, so again, thank you. Yeah, after that, the video views like shot back up to normal. It was so peculiar. They like dead, completely dead while the stream was there, and then 1 or 2 days later just shot up to where it should be. So yeah, in the future I will not worry until at least a few days has passed. Anyway, today once again SimBrief has given me 45,000 feet for an hour-and-a-half flight. I suppose we'll give it the benefit of the doubt and try and follow it. We've got 9 passengers on board, only 2,000 kg of fuel, just about, accounting for any diversions. If we do divert a bit to UNNT, Krasnoyarsk itself, like the actual map, it doesn't look too far. Obviously an hour and a half though, because we have 50 minutes in the air and half an hour on the ground. So let's hop in. I have done the walk around. There we are, virtually in the cockpit. Plane's looking very, very slick though. I mean, I said it was quite clear weather, but it's not really. It's looking pretty overcast. Cessna Citation X looking beautiful, of course, on the ramp. Upper right hand side, you can see the FPS is capped at 60. So we're reaching that 60 FPS with no issues on the new 12.2 X-Plane 12. The new updates. Yeah, plane's looking very, very nice. I think they improved like the wheels. They used to sink into the ground a lot more. That seems to have changed. Still does it a little bit, obviously that's just the weight of the plane itself. Very cool details. So let's go ahead and hop in. And we're not going to do... I'll get the checklist up, but we're not really going to bother with it in terms of like following her voice. So I'm going to turn her off. And I'm just going to do what I want to do this time. We're going to do it a little bit differently. There, I'm skipping ahead of everything myself here. What's that noise? I've spent so long following the checklist that when I don't follow it, I'm a bit lost. I suppose that's the issue, isn't it, with following checklists? I don't think you can hear that. There's like a beeping sound. How strange. I don't even think I've heard that beeping in the cockpit before. Like, ever. Let's take the packs on high while we wait. Try and get the temperature down. I have got cockpit descriptions on. Just because I've been trying to program my honeycomb throttle, I've had a little bit of success with it, with some of the lights and things. Well, I did have some success, and now it seems that the success is gone. I managed to get the hydraulic pressure light to work, and the auxiliary fuel pump light to work, and now when I'm pushing the auxiliary pump in the cockpit, absolutely nothing is happening. So it just goes to show, I mean, I did get it working, so my hydraulic pressure light should illuminate. What the effing hell is that noise? Excuse me. What is that noise? Turn the batteries off, you can still hear it. Like, what is that? Oh my god, I think these are glitches with the audio, you know, because it had the similar issue in the 737 and the overspeed. And granted, that was a different situation, but let's just reload the aircraft. Let's get connected to VATSIM. I've got a Russian tail sign today since we're in Russia. Make sure we get our appropriate call type tail signs in and call signs. I've gone for Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa. Right, so we've loaded bindings from twin piston aircraft. That'll probably be why for some reason we're not loading jet engine aircraft in, which is where I program the hydraulic pressure and auxiliary fuel pump. Why it's loading in twin engine, I don't know. It shouldn't be doing that. So it's not even loading the right one into the game. See? From profile twin piston, it shouldn't be doing that at all. I mean, technology, I mean, you think if you buy things, you know, expensive. And now I can't even find the configure on the thing. But yeah, as you would expect, if you buy expensive things, it would work. So that is a little bit disappointing in that sense. And a lot of the things, a few things actually that were pre-programmed on the honeycomb throttle. Like, as much as it's good because it's like still loading twin piston though. Let's just crack on with this. I have no idea why that kept beeping. That was just a glitch in Explain 12. Got lost in my thought there. You pay a lot for stuff. It doesn't work. Some of the stuff that was pre-programmed on the throttle and yoke wasn't even programmed to the correct thing. Meaning that if people had seen it pre-programmed, they would have assumed it was correct. But actually, some of the things weren't, which required changing. If we could just load our proper, like, profile at the moment, like, they've made it so... like, so complicated when it doesn't have to be. You know, and I want to give them the benefit of the doubt and say it's good. Because I do enjoy it, but... like, it's not hard if they're saying it's not hard to program it, then why didn't they pre-program it for people? You know. If I select load bindings, it should recognise that we're in the jet engine aircraft because we have the jet engine loaded. We don't have the twin engine profile loaded. We have the jet engine loaded. Just another example of something that could be changed. We are going to turn the tail flood on just while we're on the ground. Okay, look at that. We do have some bad weather around. Not too bad actually. It's green, yellow. Can't really see much orange in there. And a bit of blue around the outside, so it's not the worst. 008 QNH. at 1370. For the minimums. Just for takeoff, according to the departures we have, let me check. We have orbit 1 Lima departure from runway 16, and then we'll arrive in the Ranet to Romeo arrival, runway 11. Make sure you do write these down, by the way. It's a good suggestion, but I would recommend you write these down for your own flight. So Ogut 1 Lima, and make sure you correctly write the runway down, and the just things that help make this a lot quicker for you. When it comes to landing, you can simply look across your notes rather than fiddling with your mouse and keyboard. And it's similar to using an in-flight EFB as well. Let's go ahead and get the flight actually loaded. So we're going to put 1951 worth of fuel. There we go, just a little bit over, and 9 passengers with 225 on board on cargo. 2 crew. Right, I think, oh yeah, there's 4 in there, isn't there? So 140, that's my estimate for 2 people at least. See if that's registered them in there. We can usually see on here how many packs we've got. Position initialization, performance, navigation, we want flight plans. There it is. Activate that. Clear that off the screen. OGT, yes, 1 Lima departure. Runway 16. So we've got the runway. This has happened before, everybody. I think I showed it on stream where the departure or the arrival just didn't show up at all on the FMCs as expected. It didn't come up as a recognisable star or SID, should we say. So I sort of left just wondering in the dark what the hell I should do. I suppose there's still a learning curve in here for everybody, really. So the closest I'm going to get is 16 Tango for Ogut 1 Lima departure. Ogut 1 Lima. I think simply is also using an out-of-date AirX cycle. How peculiar that it would be allowed to do so. I thought they may have fixed this so it's up to date. We're spending a little bit longer today on the ground just because I want to take my time and get it all right. And then again, this is what you got to do in real life. You got to take time, make sure you get it right. There's no chance for mistakes in the aircraft. We're just going to go ahead and select nothing on there, so let's go back to flight plan, and it seems to have put OGT in, so we'll leave that in. And we're climbing straight up. 45,000. Let's put all the altitudes in. Activate, navigation, arrival. Again, it's put the star in there for the arrival. So if we go back to nav, it's only coming up the runway. It's not showing you the actual SID overall, which is also peculiar. Closest we got is this. Let's select that. It looks right on the map. That looks pretty right, to be honest. Yeah, it's initial altitude. We have a look on Navitab. Have we got anyone else at the airport? No, we haven't. We are connected to VASDIM. There's absolutely nobody else. Or are we connected? Give me a second. No, we're not. So Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray. X-ray Papa, and we're at C750. Now we reconnect to the game, and voila, still nobody online. So it'll be a 122 random squad code. We have US TV Center. I don't know if they're going to contact me after taxiing again. I don't like it when controllers do that, especially if we're supposed to contact them. Judging by the look of the outside though, it's dead here, so you should reach out if we are the only ones. Okay, we want our departure routes. SID's available. It'd be cool to have like an EFB down here, a little tablet we could use instead of this pop-up window. This is still appropriate. See, we've got the charts, departures. Remember the runway 16. Yeah, I've got VFR departures and all that. Runway 16. Okay, so there seems to be a combination of things here. Standard instrument departure, runway 16. Ogama. Agati's that one, that's one we need, so yes. That's interesting, so it's giving us the simulator. If we look at the map, let's look at this one instead. So runway 16 is right down there, so we should be turning, according to the map, out to the right, left. So it'll be on the right, but it'll be on the left, if that makes sense. And it's got us going out the opposite way on the plan. Let's go ahead and just alter that. It's actually giving us a Gami, which is down that way. And then OBT we want. So yeah. That's a bit better. There we go. There's that turnout from runway 16. So we now can see on the chart, and that should take us. So originally it was correct. Maybe the departure is not like specific, if that makes sense. It's just the OBT departure rather than one particular one. Any altitude restraints? So we need to check. All we have to do is zoom in. I can't really read it at this distance. 131.2. Well, we know where that is on the map. This thing is. So we got that. We got that. We got that. These are all NDBs and little, markers of navigational references, etc., etc. We don't really need them yet. Novosibirsk, there is 113.3. Of course, we'll tune. We'll tune it in. Okay, so we have to come back to the airport, and it says flight level 7,000 or above. It's like climbing straight out. So it's straight out departures, and now we go back to the other charts. Airport, ground movement chart will be fine. And that just gives us our taxi route. So looks like we're going to be taxiing from here, work around the terminal, down taxiway Echo. November Echo, Mike and Lima, runway 16. Ready to go. Close the door. So we're just taking the time there to look at the charts. Let's go ahead and get the engine started. Number 1. Everything is working. Let's just turn the packs off. We had the bleed air on that. I thought I already turned that on. For some reason it's gone off. Introduce fuel. At 5 degrees of flaps as well before the initialization. $126, 139. Quite a high speed today for a takeoff. Trim for the green zone. Again, explain to how it doesn't really give you control of these blue markers for the N1. Just be aware of that when you use the Citation X on the game. The N1 bugs are completely fixed in position. I'd like to see that changed. I know the Microsoft version can change that, and you can change the N1 settings. Of course, it will be based on your performance and things, but it seems to be pretty dead set in this, regardless of, you know, what your performance is. They seem to be the same no matter what. We've got ignition on one and not on the other. How odd. Fuel was already introduced, that's fine. Should really do that before the engines start. Let's just see the stall test. Taxi lights. It's going to be a straight out taxi, obviously. Straight down the right of us. Yeah, so echo on mic. Okay, that doesn't want to do it. I have to figure out how to load the bindings for this aircraft. I thought he was already using it. So when you go on load, it should have come with the option there to load specific one. For some reason it's default loading the wrong aircraft. As you can see, we selected jet engine. I repeat myself, we selected jet engine, but it loaded in the bindings that I pre-programmed for the twin piston aircraft, which is unfortunate. Толмачёво. Please correct me if I'm right in saying that. Is it Толмачёvo Airport? Oh, right, wait, hang on. Now we've got tower online. Hang on, this is good. Fantastic. So, let me just set my brake a second. Okay, they've just literally come online. So, we'll program tower in. 118.50. I think we're the only people here, though. Okay, let's give them a call. Well, there's no ATIS information. Now ATIS has come online, so it's all happening. 131, just as we're going to taxi, so 131.3. You can't really get out of using ATC once they're here. So you can't just sneak off. Let's have a quick listen to that.
UNNT, temperature +15, dew point +11, QNA, H1008 Hess, transition level. Expect 1 Papa 07. Taurus from taxiway Delta 2500 meters.
Yeah,
On initial
that's what we
contact,
planned.
report stand and advise if ready departure from taxiway Delta. Acknowledge 8 is information Alpha.
Alpha from Delta. Well, we planned to go Delta and then
Novosibirsk Tolmachevo 8 is
Толмачёво.
information Alpha. 1230. Expect ILS Zulu approach runway 07.
Novosibirsk Tolmachevo Airport. This is Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa with information Alpha. Request taxi.
Cessna X-ray Papa, Novosibirsk Tower, stand by for 1 minute.
Roger. Okay, so I just called for taxi. I probably should have called for clearance. Although to be fair, we sort of taxied out a little bit. It did say call for taxi from taxiway Delta.
Cessna X-ray Papa, advice ready to copy.
Roger, Romeo Alpha X-ray Papa ready to copy.
Cessna X-ray Papa, info Alpha, clear to Krasnoyarsk. Agati 1 Juliet departure, 5-man route, combat seat 4000 feet, squawk 5201.
Okay, fantastic. He's given us all the information. Cleared to Krasnoyarsk, Valyoga 1 Juliet departure. Climb 4000 feet, squawk 5201. Romeo Alpha X-ray Papa.
Cessna X-ray Papa, confirm Agati 1 Juliet departure.
Bugatti 1 Juliet departure.
Cessna X-ray Papa, repeat correct, advice when ready for taxi.
Okay, brilliant. So he's given us 4,000 feet initially. He has given us the correct departure as well, which is good. So 1-6 for the Juliet. I think it was in Russia actually. I had an issue finding it on the thing here because the air rack cycle was out of date in the aircraft or something. Or the I can't remember what it might have been going into Novosibirsk, this airport, and yeah, I think it was. We came in, and it happens in Russia though when you're in the Russian territory, and the air rack cycle and the computer and the FMC it just never matches up with what's expected. So we want the Yogurt 1 Juliet departure, whereas I had the 1 Lima departure programmed. The point is that, you know, why is it this area of the world that's not got proper, like, why didn't they program this into X-Plane 12 properly? It seems like they really skipped over the sort of air rack cycle, if that makes sense. They just skipped over it for Russia, and they haven't really put much thought into it. So for me, it's very confusing to not see it on the list. The only thing I can think is we go back to departure and we just deselect a runway, but it's not possible to do that. And there's not really any other way of doing a departure. Because now it's changed completely what we need to do on departure, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's bring the chart up once more. We know we're going to taxi around Delta, so let's go UNNT. Let's just have a look for that 1 Juliet departure. Runway 16. We know we're going this way, and we know we're going to use that direction. That's the 1 Bravo departure. So the question is, where is the 1 Juliet departure? You know, where is the 1 Lima departure that I had programmed in? So you got 1 Foxtrot. It's very strange that there's no charts available for it either. That is so peculiar. The only thing I can think is he's going to give us a different runway, and maybe that's what's happened. He's going to give us a different runway for departure, rather than runway 16, which is what I originally had planned to begin with. I'm looking at the chart, I can't see it at all for that runway, so yeah, the the runway must be wrong, everybody. Let's try a different one. Well, there's not really anything else we can select, and the active runway here is supposed to be runway 16. Yeah, it looks like the right runway, it's just not coming up. Yeah, literally, we've only got 16 Tango, that's it. We haven't got Juliet. And that just takes us up to Argama, which is not the correct one. So you got one Golf. We've seen one Foxtrot. We just haven't seen Lima or Juliet at all on these departure things. Let me just check again, so I'm not blind, I'm not missing this. Runway 16. Is it an RNAV departure, perhaps? There's the one Lima, so they were kind of getting there with the RNAV departure. So that's what we originally had programmed in. Right, now we're getting somewhere. This makes sense. I think this is all SimBrief's fault, to be honest. The explanations on that departure briefing are not very clear at all. It literally says it's a standard instrument departure, so you wouldn't expect it to be an RNAV. I know that sounds odd, but squawk our squawk code anyway. 5201. Let's just stick it on altitude 80 cm. Yeah, so we found that. We're getting there, so we know that it's not the RNAV. That's literally the only option we've got. I'm going to assume that's right, and that the AirAct cycle that we're using, and that this one is also potentially, I don't know. One Juliet, I haven't found it. One more look. We looked at the RNAV, we looked at runway 16 there. Standard shimmy departure routes. Let's look here. Operative 1X. Welcome. No, there's no. Excuse me, not on there. Give up, everybody. Give up looking. I think we're just gonna have to leave it at that. Again, we can't find that in the FMC though, so. Yeah, more issues, isn't it? It does look right though, taking that left on turn. Okay, looks like all the HAC is online, which is cool. They got the tower, they got the approach, ground, ATIS. I wonder if we have to call tower back instead of ground. We'll call tower back. I think in Russia it's like Romeo X-ray Papa rather than the full call sign, but I'm getting used to it still. Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa with information Alpha ready to taxi.
Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, contact Novosibirsk ground 121.7.
Contact ground 121.7. Good day. Okay, 121.7. They've let's see, one. They will have to call tower back for departure from the runway. So yeah, this is just taking a while. Relaxing for the Trans-Siberian flight today. Novosibirsk ground, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, information Alpha ready to taxi.
First 50 X-ray Papa, Novosibirsk ground, good day, taxi to holding point runway 07 to right side apron and taxiway Delta.
Okay, that explains why we can't find out the route. He has given us a different departure runway, I think, so that explains everything. So SimBrief is completely wrong. Taxi to runway 07, the right hand side, taxiway Delta, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa. Okay, so that is so strange. I'm kind of at wit's end. I don't want to sound too rude to SimBrief, but because of the amount of mistakes it's been making in the flight plans and giving me inactive runways, giving me, you know, it's giving me things that aren't being used on VATSIM, despite telling me that it's being actively used on VATSIM, which tells me that there's people on the network using out-of-date information, including myself. So now we can program the right departure, and so it is runway 7. Again, we still have the problem finding it, which is fine. I don't know, we'll select runway 07 and we'll assume that, well, there's Delta, and we'll assume that we are in fact going to taxi and take off from there. So we'll select that. Still the same departure for the OBT. As you can see, there's no OBT 1 Juliet or 1 Lima on that departure whatsoever. Okay, let's taxi. So he said right hand side. We've got taxi lights on. Everything's on. It feels like a very long start today. So I appreciate if you're still enjoying this. It usually doesn't take 40 minutes, I promise. We've had a bit of a kerfuffle with the FMC. We've had a bit of an issue with the ATC came online. They gave us a bit of help, but in general, it's been a bit of a pain. Anyway, let's select the altitude. We want 4,000 feet initially.
Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa reported. I already departure from Delta. Tora 2,500 meters.
Romeo Alpha 750. Actually, Papa, we got clearance from tower. Thank you.
Again, sir, are you ready from Delta?
Negative, not ready just yet.
Okay.
Trying to get the aircraft sorted. I mean, things are different in this place. It's a bit confusing. Let me set my head into the runway. 07. And 4,000 feet is set. I wonder why we ask us if we're ready. We got the taxi clearance, didn't we? Taxi to runway 07. Right inside via Delta. So they do it in meters here as well. That's quite a good learning curve. So we got obviously 4,000 feet for me because I'm metrics, but for the Russians and for some other people who use a different system, yeah, it's not feet, it'll be meters. another aircraft there, just sort of floating. It's going to be a bumpy one, fellas. Strap into your seats. As you can see, I'm idling. I got no power on the engines, and the aircraft is flying along the taxiway. Just a quick speed brake check, and we should really check the reverse thrusters in a situation like this. There we go. We don't need to add any power. We just check the buckets are kicked out. We got illumination on both sides. I've seen real pilots do that as well to slow the Citation X down. They drop the buckets out, kick the buckets. Just to bring down that speed on taxi, of course, not to do anything major. Sometimes it is easier to use the X-Plane 12 map as well. X-Plane 12 has still got, like, the actual default map is a VFR chart. So there's no reason why you can't use it for normal VFR flight, but of course with IFR, it includes an IFR map as well, which is fantastic. So technically you are sorted. The addition, of course, of chart fox is that you get the SIDS and stars. Although the same departure can be seen on the X-Plane 12 map. Obviously we're going to be flying this direction. We know it's the Ogety 1 Juliet, so we should have Ogety somewhere in the distance on the map. Really cool, actually. Really cool to taxi down Delta because they'll take you straight onto the runway. That plane on the left of us is a real player, by the way. It's a real pilot, sim pilot. He's got an Aeroflot. I think it's an Airbus. Can't quite see. We should download, try and get an Aeroflot livery for this plane, the Cessna Citation X. Because at the moment we sort of default liveries, but it'd be cool to fly something like that. Actually parking down here as well. So we're probably going to have to contact centre. It's really cool they've all come online though. We got tower, we got ground, we got tower.
Ground, Airport 546, hello,
approach.
number 6
And center. Riga. Oh. Fantastic, he's going to Riga. Could have gone to Riga ourselves.
5406 Novosibirsk ground. Good day. Information all Bravo is correct. Clear to Riga. Runway use 07. Algama 1 Juliet. Departure initial climb. To altitude 4.
Quick check the steering.
5202. After departure, contact Novosibirsk radar 122.0.
546, runway in use 07, Gamma 1 Juliet departure, initially 4,000 feet, squawk 5202.
Nice. So his squawk code's 1.09.
After departure, contact Novosibirsk radar 122.0.
So that's what we'll be going over to as well, 122.0. Tower didn't mention that, but we know that what it is from the vaccine network, so 122.0. Let's just park up here a sec, let's get the checks done. So ATC on, strobes on, running lights, takes lights off. 122.0, we'll pre-program that in. 122.0.
Run Alpha 756. Contact Novosibirsk Tower 118.5.
118.5, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, good day. Awesome, so we got the backup one there, we'll tune that now and then we'll put the tower a bit back in, so 118.500. Try and keep it a bit positive since we've taken so long on the ground, but it has felt, I don't know, it's felt very strange today in this citation. I think I've left the clock on screen as well, I'm sorry about that everybody, it's not very professional of me to do so. A bit overwhelmed actually in their workload for some reason, I wonder if I'm too tired. Let's go ahead and give them a call. Novosibirsk Tower, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, ready to depart runway 07.
Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, line up runway 07, report ready for departure.
Line up runway 07, report ready for departure, Romeo X-ray Papa. Awesome. Gonna need the whole length. Let's just tune the ILS to nav 2 in case we have to come back for an emergency landing. I feel like I could rename this stream so Trans-Siberian Flight Express or whatever we usually call it. It's Ground Experience Day. How about that? You notice I put 250 on the vertical speed there because we're going to be climbing out pretty quick and we're going to be leveling off at 4,000 feet initially, but you'll probably give us clearance when we passed off the centre, give us clearance to climb straight up to 45,000. I think we've programmed that on VATSIM as well. Yeah, so we've put that on the altitude. Okay, press the go around button and it's just tried to deploy the reverse thrust for some reason. How odd. I'll let you see the yokes. Might as well. That's what they're there for. Interesting, when I use the electric trim on my yoke, it doesn't show it as an animation in the cockpit. This yoke on this yoke trim does in fact move. When I was doing it on my Xbox controller, it would move, but obviously not on the Alpha yoke for some reason. So let's just do a final check. Transponder, flat.
Alpha 750, X-ray Papa, after departure contact radar, wind 1302, runway 07, clear for takeoff.
What do you give us? 1302. Is that 1302? Or 1220, perhaps. 127, 1302.
Alpha 750, X-ray Papa, QNH 1007, wind 1302, runway 07, clear for takeoff, after departure contact radar.
Sorry, just confirm again the frequency for the radar.
Radar 122.0.
Okay, sorry, for some reason I heard it incorrectly. Romeo Alpha 750, X-ray Papa, clear for departure, runway 07, after departure contact Sancho 122.0. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
Okay, awesome. So Tao's really friendly here. They're always friendly in the Russian airspace. Let's get going. Let's just make sure we got that tuned in. 122.0. Yes, we have. We'll contact them after departure. So let's tune that now. Okay, I'm going to give slightly less thrust on takeoff, just to maintain that control. And rotate. Initial altitude 4,000 feet. We've got a light TCAS on the map. Positive rate climb, gear up. Just really look at the charts for the departure. So on a departure like this, where you've got a level off that's 4,000 feet, you'll want to reduce that thrust pretty quickly. Otherwise you're going to end up climbing well too rapidly. Technically we should put the autopilot on pretty quickly too, so we'll go ahead and do that. Flaps and slats up. Novosibirsk Center, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, with you climbing 4,000 feet on the OBT1 Juliet departure.
750 X-ray Papa, Novosibirsk radar identified, unrestricted, climb to flight level 450, proceed direct to Amoche.
Climb to flight level 450, proceed direct to Amoche, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa. There it is. Amity. Direct. Fantastic. Climb into, so we do flight level change. 4,000 feet for now. Flight level change, there we go. Should be climbing at roughly 270. And there's that rough weather. We'll be out of here in a second. It's about 2 or 3 minutes of roughness.
For correction 750 X-ray Papa, contact message control 127.0 by.
Contact Center 120.0, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, good day.
Negative 127.0.
Roger 127.0, good day. Right, I did call that back correctly, 127.0, 127.0.
40, proceed in model.
Let's just get started first, we're at just about 10,000 feet.
Novosibirsk control. Hello, not identified. Confirm you are not an observer.
Cabin packs, cockpit packs weren't on. For some reason it's like freezing in the cockpit, which is fine.
So 529ers, clock 5232. 5232 in the box. Southern target to 509.
$45,000. There's a lot of Santas on there.
Identified, maintain flow 340.
Oh wow, look at this view.
Maintaining 340, southern target to 509.
Isn't this amazing? Anyway, we're on our route departure. Straight up to Krasnoyarsk. Lovely, lovely weather, isn't it? Set the cabin lights on. And let's get the anti-ice on as well. Make sure we fly the plane properly and don't freeze to death. It's about 200 nautical miles. For some reason it's only 36,000, so it even says in the FMC it can't go to 45,000 even though we were cleared to it. I'm gonna put it there anyway. Can't change it. Not far anyway, we probably won't even reach it because it's... I don't know, we might not reach it before we have to descend is my point. Novosibirsk Center, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, with you climbing to flight level 450.
Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, Novosibirsk control, hello, identified.
Awesome. Well, lucky timing with the ATC today. We hopped on, we had absolutely nobody, and then everybody came on. So it's going well. I think it's going very well. And hopefully when we arrive, we'll have... I want to check the FMC actually. We've got the right arrival, haven't we? UNKL. Make sure we're going to the right airport. 18,000 feet just about, so fan sync. Could have turned the AP off earlier. And of course standard pressure.
6641, clear direct November Tango 059, descent from level 080. 6641, clear direct to November Tango, say please. 059. Clear direct November Tango 059, 6641. 6641 and descent from level 80. 6641, descent from level 80.
Yeah, that's Simbrief, everybody. Just be aware, it's not only giving me the wrong departure, it's giving me the wrong departure runway. Completely out of date information. So yeah. Anyway, we probably skipped over T altogether and we're just going straight up to that other waypoint, aren't we? I'm looking forward to the arrival, Krasnoyarsk. Nice big city again. Has relatively small runways, which is cool. QFE of 731, blimey. 1009 for the QNH. Just surprises me for August. You would expect, obviously, to have higher temperatures, but now we're moving further east. Obviously, in Russia, the further east you go, you get more into Siberia, and it's just cold year round. You know, it's just snow and ice year round there, isn't it? Anyways, the further we go on this trip, the more sort of severe the weather's going to become. We're going to be encountering more of this fogginess and clouds and turbulence, and until eventually we get to Kamchatka, which will be the end destination, or just near the end destination. We'll probably go to Kamchatka as a little bit of a treat, and then we'll sort of dive down to Vladivostok, which will be obviously the final destination. But yeah, Petropavlovsk, Kamchatsky, I've flown there before in the Tupolev. If you go back on my channel, you'll be able to find the video. I did the 777 in Russia a few times. Can't remember if I did a stream on it back when I was doing flight gear. And interestingly, it's just had a massive earthquake there, so yeah, that part of the world, isn't it, just been hit by severe weather this year. Excuse me for a second, everybody. I'm going to step away from the cockpit. It should be good to step away for 1 moment to get a drink. Be right back.
descent flight 80. 6641, contact Novosibirsk 122.0, bye bye. 6641, contact 122.0, thank you for control, до свидания.
Okay, everybody, I just returned to the cockpit. Something's going wrong with the plane. We've lost engine power on the right side. Okay, what's going on here? So we've got climb, ignition. I think we've got an engine failure on the right side. We did have engine sync on. We're going to turn that off. I'm really sorry about this. Like, usually I don't plan for this sort of stuff. I'm going to check the iOS. Hung start. Great. So we should have noticed that when we started, not after. It was running absolutely fine though. Hung start, clogged nozzles, number 2. We're a bit screwed because we're not really climbing. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare an emergency in a second. I know you shouldn't do this on vaccine, but I can't help it. You know, I can't help what happens. This is just life. This is just the events that happen, isn't it? So we're going to squawk 7700. Indicate there's an issue with our engines. I'm going to go ahead and ask for a little bit of assistance. In a second, I want to just check. We don't really have that far to go on this flight, so we maybe have to level off here for the time being. Let me go ahead and give him contact. I don't really know what to do with the engine. We haven't got... Novosibirsk Control, 750 X-ray Papa. We've encountered an issue at flight level 280. Our right hand engine is has failed. We're unable to climb to flight level 450. I think for now we're gonna have to shut down the engine because we've got zero power to it. We can't climb anymore. Can we maintain flight level 280 until Krasnoyarsk? We should be good at this flight level. Thank you, maintain flight level 280. Okay everybody, so what we're going to do is we're going to idle. I know this is a very strange thing to do. I was going to say idle it, but I'm going to keep the throttle. I don't know if we're going to be able to maintain 280 to be honest. I don't want to say 280 and then we're going to have to climb and descend, etc. There's Amity, so we're not too far off. So once we're past Amity, it's 55 nautical miles to Rotley, which we're going to have to start descending. So, like, that right engine's completely gone. I think, yeah, even if we idle the engine, it's not going to make a difference. Even with full throttle on the left side, it's not going to make a difference. Just put a slight bit of left rudder trim in there. And now we've got the stabilised ice is cold on the right. Alright, let's get the piezo heats, that would help. In this situation, what do we do? Do we turn the ignitions off the right hand side? Do we turn the fuel boosts off? Transfers off? I'm assuming we'll get the APU back on at some point. Or maybe we should do it now. Trying to think of what we could do logically. If we turn the generator off, we'll have to turn it off because the engine's not really generating anything. So APU's gonna have to come back on its what's the maximum altitude? So 31,000 feet. We're actually still good to use the APU at this altitude. So let's go ahead and do that. This should provide a little bit more power.
We are ready for descent.
This is interesting, isn't it, everybody? We got an emergency procedure, emergency event. No setup in this game. It's just real spontaneous failures. There we go. So we're going to set the generator. And we're going to put not max cool, well, just normal cool on. High bleed air has been for the engines. We can turn the bleed air off from the right hand side because we've got no power coming from it.
Novosibirsk Control Airport 546 low level 400 inbound from all.
Airport 546 Novosibirsk Control, hello, identified, climb to level 400.
400 Airport 5.
I wonder if we should keep squawking 7700 though, because we're doing well though. See, the Citation maintains one engine flight relatively well. It just means it's going to be slower. I'm going to request descent in a second. We did spend an awful long time on the ground, everybody, so any issues, it would have been nice to have popped up before we departed. In a situation like this, so close, we were kind of close to back to Novosibirsk. We probably could have turned back. The alternate airport is UNAA. So the alternate airport is Abakan. Amity and then Rotley. We've still got quite a distance. If we take a right hand turn now down to Abakan, it's going to be... Descending flight level 270. X-ray Papa. Okay, let's get descending. So 270. Let's do vertical speed change, and we do it very, very slowly. The aircraft is perfectly capable of flying on one engine. It's just not. It's not what you should do. Obviously, this is not good for the airplane or the aircraft in general. So as you can see, it's turning there to the left because it's got power to that side. It's going to put a little bit more left, rudder trim in, and you see that's taking out that aileron stress. We don't want a situation where there's too much lift coming off of that tail. Otherwise we'll end up entering a very, very uncontrollable situation. So let's get programmed to... Oh, it's so far to that destination. Can we make it without going down? There's another airport on the right we could go to. Let's check the iOS again. Let's check what's happening. So hung start, clogged nozzles. 2 if they don't run in chat news. Well, that is. Let me know. Clogged nozzles, sort of like the outlet, is it, of the aircraft engines.
Over 132.6, Southern Cargo 2529, good evening.
As you can see, we're only descending 500 feet a minute here, trying to maintain stable flight without losing control. Obviously, the more we reduce the thrust on the left engine, the less power and things we're going to have to maintain our speed. But it also means we're going to have more control of the plane. I'm kind of playing it a little bit silly. We should be getting down low level at this point, but sometimes you just have to push it, don't you? On a tight schedule, you gotta stick to your company's policies, etc. Sometimes you don't follow the rules. You know, if you don't get there in time, you won't get paid. Yeah, so nozzles, fuel nozzles. Fuel nozzle blockages needed, usually caused by carbon buildup at the tip. Low quality fuel, or in some cases inappropriate operating practices. Well, don't blame me, everybody. Possible inappropriate practices. Although we did pretty smoothly, we just didn't follow the checklist this time. So that's interesting. We didn't follow the checklist this time. We have kit the APU on though, just for that backup power.
Air France 1015, can we continue descending? Air France 1015, we bring you 122.8, bye-bye. We bring you 122.8, thank you for your service, bye-bye, Air France 1015.
Okay, we got 145 DC on the left hand side. That's insane. Absolutely insane. And of course we should transfer some fuel actually from that right-hand tank. Gravity flow left wing, right wing. Let's just try that. See, because we're slightly tilted to the left. So we're maintaining 270 for now. As you can see, speed is dropping. Now going back to the engine status. Okay, so the temperature is in the red on the pressure. That's sorry, the temperature is green on the oil. So there's no risk of a fire, I don't think. Now we shut the engine down. Obviously the right engine is not working, so it's going to be colder than the left. I think we'll probably make it, everybody. Let's request descent to flight level 15, maybe 200. It might give us a bit more speed. Romeo Alpha 750, X-ray Papa, request descent to flight level 200.
Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, descent to flight level 210.
Descent flight level 210, Romeo Alpha X-ray Papa. Okay, 210 it is.
Confirm you will continue flight to Krasnoyarsk.
Roger, we're going to continue to Krasnoyarsk Airport as planned. I think we could probably make it. X-ray Papa.
750 Papa, Roger.
I think we can, everybody. We just got to be a bit positive about this and try and keep our heads up. We can't give up at one engine failed. We could always go for a restart, I suppose, but with the blockage in place, obviously somebody might be saying there's the argument you could just fix this in flight, but is that really realistic? You know, you don't have maintenance in the air, you don't really have any way of fixing this. I am surprised we experienced that failure on climb though, rather than on departure. Really odd. Yeah, so hung start, clogged nozzles. Oh well. It just means we're going to have to shut the engine down and stow as well, so we'll stow that, and then that we can't use it on landing. Okay, so we covered quite a lot of distance since experiencing this failure. It makes me confident that it's not going to take that long to get there. There's Krasnoyarsk, so we're actually within range of it. Let's look on the map. So we've got the map on the aviator's tablet. There it is, Krasnoyarsk. Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk. Okay, maybe we're not so close to it. It looked close to it, at least. It's just because Novosibirsk is there and we're only here. So we're not even halfway, but what we got? 55 nautical miles. The longest stretch is Amity to Rotley. We can do it, everybody, just hang in there. There's our alternate airport, Abercombe. So it probably wouldn't have even been possible to get there, and I don't think We've got airports on the way, but actually it looks closer though. When you look at it closer, like zoomed in, it looks not as far. We've got other options on the way though, that's the main thing. Not now though in terms of turning it back, we'll have to go forward for it, so it'll have to be this one if we need to divert, make up an alternate ourselves. Thank you to everybody watching, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. Cessna Citation X, 5-star aircraft, could do with 1 or 2 tweaks via Laminar Research's magic hands. And maybe a few more liveries as well online, because it's very rare that I see anything worthwhile downloading. Just the usual. In a situation like this, you can't really diagnose the issue in flight, so we wouldn't even know that we had a hung start with clogged nozzles on number 2. All we know as the pilot is we've got an engine fail, that's it. You know, we don't have the luxury of looking at an instructor operating station like this. So in flight, the best we could do is just guess what's wrong. We can't. Like, there's absolutely no indication here that there's a fuel blockage at all. Obviously, the engine's not working, we've shut it down now. We've secured it, but before that there was not really any indication, so fuel flow is pretty good. As you can see, we're transferring it, fuel from the right to the left. (2,000 feet to go into 210. We have built up some speed, as you can see, so it's working. The plan to descend for for more power and speed, etc., is bringing us many fruits. With 7 invisible but very worried Russian businessmen on board. I can't see anyone, but they're here. Beautiful day. Hopefully we get to see Krasnoyarsk city when we land. We're about to enter the area. I think HC may pass us off, or he may stick with us throughout the flight. It'd be interesting to see actually. So Ilya has been communicating with us. Let's just check. That's him. Yeah, he's communicated with us so far and he's been helpful. UNKL tower, we've got a tower available, we've got ground, and we've got ATIS. So brilliant. So today's really worked out well. Novosibirsk HC and Krasnoyarsk ACC in one as well. Let's go ahead and tune UNKL, so 126. Let's just have a quick listen to that, if we're within range, of course. Not quite in range just yet. When we are, we can pick up the ATIS information and we can use that. And I'm going to tune ground and tower onto number 2. So 121. Decimal 9, that's ground at destination. And we're going to tune in the tower as well, so 118.3. We'll leave those there for now. Having a look at the charts. UNKL. Maybe not the airport I was looking for. 1,000 feet to go. UNKL. Must be called a different name on here. We were looking for Krasnoyarsk, but it's coming up as that name. That must be the right airport. Yeah, Krasnoyarsk. QNH. So there's the QFA. That's really, really low down, by the way. 1008. Simple one runway airport. Okay, I can appreciate that. And we're landing on runway 11, apparently from Simbrief, but because they haven't given us anything accurate today, I'm going to guess it's not going to be runway 11. Let's hope it is. Okay, we're on arrival. Run it. Let's check the RNAV first. So there's us, we're almost within range of it. Standard arrival charts. Transition level 9000. Right, we're about to level off 210, so we can maintain around this speed. We should be good. Complicated charts, everybody. Can't even see the airport on it. They're also diverging into one here, like, not bad. So runway 11, let's check the actual airport runway. There we go. Runway 11. Got an NDB, so let's shoot the NDB in. ADR frequency is down here, 6. 685. We'll keep that tuned in, we'll put that on there so we can see it. So let's run it. That's the direction we're coming in. Run it to Romeo arrival. We know which direction, we know which way, so yeah, that's good. And it'll probably be straight in then, straight in for runway 11. Flight level 90 for the transition. And we're also going to be 9,000 or above, which is what we're at now. 685, we've just put that into the ADF. So 9,000 or above, and then down to 7,000 or above by this point. This is the 2 November arrival, by the way. Not the Romeo.
Novosibirsk Control, hello, Airport 1451, profit radio check.
There's our approach to Romeo.
Correction, Airport 1451, Novosibirsk Control, hello, Review 5.
Our nav approach.
Review 5-2, request a ferry clearance to Shmedova, Airport 1451.
A bit different for us. Pretty much the same thing though, so 7.
Departure, initial climb flight 1900, clock 5301.
9,000, 7,000, 3,000 feet.
We're clear to destination, runway use 23, departure route Nokia 1 Delta, initial climb flight level 190 and squawk 5301, Airport 1451.
Airport 1451, that's correct.
Very good rebacks there. 122.8, thank you very much for the ATC, good day. Awesome. 122.8. I was waiting for that, so I think we do have Tower online still. Hopefully they'll be there when we get there. Thank you so much as well to the ATC. I know we just thanked them then, but thank you so much to the ATC at Novosibirsk. They handled us all the way across that Russian territory to Krasnoyarsk. Incredible. So yeah, we just looked at the charts. I mean, it looks fantastic outside. It looks nice and cold. Looks really blue as well. It's beautiful, beautiful views. I hope it's coming through in the TV or the tablet or the phone, whatever you're watching it on. It looks absolutely stunning. I'm going to screenshot it actually. Let's get a little screenshot of that sky. Going back to the chart, we found the two Romeo arrival. So it looks like by this waypoint we'll be hand flying the approach to runway 11. As you can see, the runway is. I'm pretty sure this is the runway here. As you see, 1,500 feet above ground level. All the different arrivals, obviously from here for us, from there for them. There's different angles, of course, north, east, south, west. Well, we've got Unicom, and then we'll pass ourselves off to Tower when we get a bit closer and ground. We've already programmed them in. Let's tune them into the main frequencies now. So 118. Decimal 3. And this will just allow us a little bit of extra time when we get closer to handle the aircraft. Because the workload, of course, increases with an engine failure. And let's give the 80s a call as well while we wait. Tune into the second one. 126.
Zulu expect ILS Zulu approach. Runway 29 dry friction code 65 measured by SFT departure runway 29. Transition level 90 bird.
Yeah, again they gave us the wrong runway to land on in Simbrief. Runway 29, not runway 11.
2.12 QNH 1008.
Typical,
no
isn't it?
Changes. Acknowledge ATIS information
November. God damn, Simbrief. You let me down.
Information November. 1330 Zulu expect ILS to approach runway 29 dry friction code fix 5 measured by SFT departure runway 29. Transition level 90 bird strike hazard in vicinity of aerodrome weather. Wind 140 degrees 2 meters per second. Cav OK. Temperature 16. 2.12 QNH 1008. No significant changes. Acknowledge ATIS information November.
Well, birds in vicinity of the aerodrome as well, which makes it a little bit more difficult. How it might look today, it probably will strike the aircraft. So, easy way to switch to number 1 and 2 is to just simply push these buttons. They do function and they're brilliant. You can also switch to cabin and emergency there, although like you can in the aircraft, obviously we can't on the game. It's like DME on so they all work. As you see, we programmed the ADF frequency in, so if we wanted to listen to it, we could click that. Speakers, that's fully functional. Headphone one isn't though. So ILS, we'll select Yankee for now, and we'll select the arrival. We had programmed originally, so we can't because it's a different runway. Or maybe we can, so run it to Romeo. And that's as simple as it is. We do that. Change a few things. 3,000 feet will be our approach height. Straight in departure. One more look at the chart since we got the correct information this time. There's arrival, we want approach, ILS. So it's the complete opposite direction, not quite straight in as I thought it would be. Pre-select heading to runway 29. One 111.7. Both sides done. 111.7, so we'll get the ILS frequency programmed in. I think. It says ILS DME there, we'd use that. So coming in, 3,000 feet. Straight down, and then if we need to go around it, be back up to 3,000 feet. Oil pressure low on the right, that's fine. Should have been transferring the fuel over, but it doesn't seem to have done it at all. I did have the transfer on. Do need to start descending as well down to flight level 990. We're going to do it very slowly today. We do it at 1,000 feet a minute. I'm going to do it all vertical speed. Let's aim for 1,000 and see how that goes. Reduce that throttle just a little bit.
Efficient decimal 6. 5 measured by ESA departure runway 29. Transition level 90 in vicinity of aerodrome weather. Wind 140 degrees 2 meters per second. Cab OK. Temperature 16. 2.12 QNH 1008. No significant changes. Confirmation November. 16, 2.12 QNH100, with no significant changes. Acknowledge ATIS information November.
Bye-bye, Air France 115.
Красноярск, вышка, Россия 6842, захватили курсовой на прямой ВПП-29.
Россия 6842, Красноярск, вышка, здравствуйте, ВП-29, посадку разрешаю, ветер земли 140 градусов, 2 метра в секунду.
ВПП-29, посадку разрешили, Россия 6842. Россия 6842, после посадки срулили вправо на Дельта.
Россия 6842, работайте, Красноярскую линию 121,9. Хорошего дня, до свидания.
121,9, спасибо за контроль, хорошего вам вечера, до свидания.
750 X-ray Papa, Krasnoyarsk Tower, hello, continue approach runway 29er.
Okay, radio minimums, we have made our call to the tower. Apologies everyone, I had it on mute because I was trying to sort something out. We made our call, we're coming to land. It's cleared us to continue our approach at the moment. So far, the one engine flight is actually going really well. It's just taken a little bit longer than usual.
750 X-ray Papa, runway 29er, clear to land, wind 130 degrees, 2 meters per second.
Clear to land, runway 29, Romeo X-ray Papa. There's the clearance to land, everybody. So now we can do this one engine flight. Landing, we're within just about 5 nautical miles. Let's bring the gear down. 3 green lights, fantastic. I'm going to go for, I don't know if we should do, I'll try full flaps because we're doing pretty well so far. We've burned off quite a lot of fuel. We just don't want to retract that and idle the throttle too quickly because we're going to drop, you know, like a stone, and the flaps has created a lot of drag, as you can see. If I take control now, we're going to have a very hard time controlling this thing. So we're going to do yaw damper off first. It's not even working on the thing. If quickly turn the autopilot off, let's see what happens. So we got control. We've been pulled to the right hand side, not the left. Why are we being pulled to the right? Man.
Light slow.
Okay, this is where crashes happen, everybody. I'm going to use plenty of left rudder trim. That's normal, actually getting pulled to the right. There it is. Maintain it. Rudder trim's really helping at the moment. 500 feet. We've probably not got room for a go around on this one, I'm not going to lie. Looking good though.
300.
There's the middle marker.
Minimums.
Continuing. It's looking like a nice landing. We're not going to be able to use reverses.
100. 50. 40.
Okay, nice and slowly.
30. 20. 10.
I'm going to kick the buckets, but I'm not going to use them. Okay, a little bit off. Okay, that reverser won't even deploy because we've not idled the engine, so that's good. Not the best landing. Get the flaps up, spoilers. Taxis. He's probably going to pass us off the ground. 121.9er. Well, we came in and we landed pretty well there, but we just went off centre because of that. We're asymmetric flight, so we can't maintain as good a control as we'd like to.
Alpha 750 X-ray Papa, contact Cessna ground 121.9er. Thank you for your flight, goodbye.
Contact around 121.9er. Thank you very much, Romeo X-ray Papa. Okay, awesome. So there's 121.9er. Let's contact them. Just taxi forward, clear the runway first. Trying to keep that throttle cut off, but it keeps coming back on for some reason. Strobes off. Yeah, so control was really bad there in London. Even bad on the ground, but isn't that a beautiful plane? It really is. Krasnoyarsk ground, Romeo Alpha 750 X-ray Papa. Clear the runway 2029.
Romeo Alpha 750, Krasnoyarsk ground, hello, stand 5, wide advance, Delta Tango 3.
Okay, let me just have a quick look at the charts. Airport, aerodrome. Got parking, stand 5 via. Oh, there's stand 5 right there. Romeo Alpha stand 5 is X-ray Papa, stand 5 Delta 3. Is that, do you say down route Tango 3? God, that's going to be the worst callback ever. Awful callback. I should have just said Delta 3 on the callback. I can see it on the map anyway, number 5. That a bit of a stressful flight. I'm going to try and adjust the failures on X-planes so we don't experience them as much. Because we're experiencing quite a lot of... I don't know about issues, but it just feels a lot more difficult when there's, you know, bad weather, when there's systems not working. Makes it a little bit difficult. There's no lights here either. Well, welcome to Krasnoyarsk. Nice looking airport. Good ATC services. Good flight. We survived. There's 4. And there's 5. It's not a problem, there's a plate part there, it's the default aircraft. For some reason. going to do a naughty thing here. Disconnect. Thank you for the ATC services. I'm just going to sort of cut across the road here and park in the stand next to it. We're allowed to do this in private jets. We're allowed to drive around the airport like we own it. Like going number 6 at park at an angle like a cool plane. Oh man, what a flight. What a flight. I hope you've enjoyed this adventure with Grantham. It's been quite the adventure indeed. I think next time we're going to make sure we set off and set failures for the maximum time, so we don't get them often. Every 10,000 hours might be a good idea, rather than every whatever it's at now. It looks like it's probably at 5,000. It's as quick as that to shut down this plane. Not much to do in it at all. And the emergency lights have come on, as you can see there. No shocks. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this exciting flight. I'm Grantham. We are going to be doing another flight. We're supposed to be doing another flight later on. I've kind of been delaying it. The Prague flight sightseeing tour, because I've been watching other streams. I've been watching a lot of Mafia. It's just been released, so I'll probably be watching that later on rather than streaming, and then hopefully we do that Prague one tomorrow. I keep putting it off.